Good morning and welcome to today's stream. Now, some people might think, well, contact forms on your website. Yes, that is what we're going through today in today's video, because contact forms are actually quite important on your website and a lot of people just kind of take it for granted. So that is what we're going to be going through in today's video. Hi, for those that don't know me, my name is Jason Kruger and I help heart-centered businesses build and automate their online marketing systems. Now, as I've said, in today's video, I wanted to go through contact forms on WordPress. Now, if you've got a WordPress website, then this video is for you, because there are so many different ways to implement this on your website, and some are more successful than others. And what I mean by that is, the look of them and sometimes the functionality of them as well. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go back into my demo site that you might have seen over the last few weeks, and I'm going to have maybe 4-5 different ways of creating your contact form. Now, some of them are going to be free plugins and some of them are going to be premium plugins. So let's get into my desktop and let me show you what I am talking about. So this is just the demo site that I have set up, and we're going to go into the back end. And what I've done, or I'm just going to show you here, is I've created some demo pages. So we've got Beaver Builder, which is the page builder that I use for all my sites. So we'll do a demo of that one. We've got Gravity Forms. That is a premium plugin, and we'll go through that because I've just released a massive update to it, which makes creating these contact forms a lot easier, and you can change the layout of those. And we're also going to be looking at WP Forms as well, and that has a free version as well as a premium. But in today's video, I'm just going to go through the free version. And what we're also going to do is, there's one that's been popular over the last, I don't know how many years, and every website seems to be using them, and that is Contact Form 7. Now, it's still a very popular plugin, but I'm finding it more and more just to be a little bit more antiquated compared to what we can do with some of the other forms as well. But if you just want something kind of free to get on your website, then this could be a possibility. But I do think some of it now is a bit outdated, even though it is updated regularly. There's nothing wrong with the plugin, but just the way it is set up for people to be able to use it, it can be a little bit of a struggle. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go into Beaver Builder first, because it's the one that I use regularly on my sites, because it's just built into the page builder. And if I just want to have a quick and easy form, then this is what I will use. So as we say, we're just going to go to this page, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a 3-column row in here, just so that we can just center it and just have a layout to put this form in. So this will make this area a little bit bigger. And then all I've got to do is click on this little plus button here, go to the modules, and just find the contact form. And there we go there. This is just a built-in form. So you can add it in here. Now, you're just going to put in the email address that you're going to have this contact form sent to. So, let's just do test@test.com. And then you can show the field. So we have the name field. You can have a placeholder there as well. You could have a subject field as well. And then when the form gets submitted, what is going to be the email subject line that you are going to receive on the other end? And then we're going to have the email field, because, we want to have their email address so that we can respond to them. And then you can also have a phone field. And then after that, you're just going to have a message box where people can then just put in the message that they want to send to you. So you can go and put that in there. And then they have another option here with the terms and conditions. Now, I'm not a GDPR expert, but when you're using contact forms and people are sending their details, you do need to have their have your privacy policy underneath the form, so that they've at least got that privacy policy that they can look at. But you can also add in kind of a terms and conditions checkbox. So if I click on that, we can then put in a message there that they need to tick before they can submit their inquiry. And then once someone has successfully submitted the form, what is going to be the success action that you want to happen? So at the moment we've got nothing, so they'll click on it and they won't really know what's happened when they've submitted this form. So we could either just show them a message. So we could just put a quick message in there saying, thanks for your message, we'll be in touch. And you can customize this to your heart's content. Or if you do have somewhere else that you want to send them, if you set up a thank you page somewhere, you could just direct them to that page if you wanted to. And then we can go in here and then we can style it as well. So we can change the button color, etc. So we have all those options. The other thing we have here is the capture. Now, you know, lots of people are getting spam through contact forms. So this is a way to combat that. But you'll need to go into your Google account to be able to do this. So, you know, you just follow the instructions that they give you here, and then you can then put all of that in here. You will put this information into the settings part of Beaver Builder in the admin console. And then once you're done, click on save. And that is a quick and easy form for your website. So if you just want something on there to submit an inquiry, then you can just use Beaver Builder if you already have this type of plugin installed. Now, Elementor have the same kind of functionality, and so do all of the other page builders. So have a look to see what modules you have, because normally they will have a kind of a context form module for you to use. So the next one that we're going to have a look at is WP Forms. So I've just got a blank page on here. Now, we haven't actually built this, but when you are building out your forms and you have one already built, you can come in here, and in the normal editor, you'll have this add form button, which you can then just click and then choose the form that you want to. Now, I do have a demo form already in here, so I could click on that. You know, do I want to show the form name or the description? No, I don't. So all I'm going to do is click on add form. Now you'll see it's just putting a short code in here. This other button here is for Gravity Forms. So I'll show you that when I go through Gravity Forms. So if I click on update, and if I just show you this quickly, you'll see that I now have this form on my website. Now let's actually go and create one. So down in the menu on the left hand side here, we have one called WP Forms. Now I'm just going to click on all forms. Now, as I said, this is the free version of WP Forms. You can then go and buy the premium version of it, which will give you a lot more functionality. You know, this is going to be good enough for your simple contact form, for instance. But if you want to create more in-depth forms, then you will need to go and get the premium version of the plugin. So that's the one that I just created earlier, but I'm now going to create a new one. So I'm going to click on add new. And then we can give it a name. So let's just call this live demo. Now it gives you some templates that you can use in this free version. So you can just create a blank form completely and then just build it out yourself, or you can use their simple contact form, their newsletter sign up form, or a suggestion form. So let's go and create a blank form. So as you can see, we've just got a blank template at the moment, and we can go out and build this how we wish. Now, as you can see, there's some fancy fields down here, but all of these are kind of grayed out. We can't use them because these are part of the premium package. But you know, as you can see, we still have quite a lot here that we can use just on the standard field. So let's do that. Let's add a single line. So we just go there and we can just drag it across. I think I've added 2 in there, so let's just delete 1. And then I can then go and just edit this. So let's say this is going to be our contact form. So we want the name. We could give it a description. Is it required? Well, we might want that to be required. So let's tick that. Advanced options, the field size. So how big do we want this to be? Any placeholder text. So we can go in here and change this as we wish. We can then go to here, the next one, and we can add in the email. So I've just clicked on that. So now we've got email in there. Do we want to give them an area to write a big block of text? So we want this paragraph text in here. And let's click on this. We're going to call this message, or let's call it inquiry. Now, as you might have seen, I used the single line text for the name, but I could have just clicked on this one down here and it would have added that in automatically. And as you can see, this one gives me the first and last name. But if I wanted to, we could just change it to simple and just have the just a name. So you could use either way of doing it. The other thing that we can do here is we could add in multiple choices, checkboxes, drop-down menu. So if you've got a contact form, but you've got different services and you want to just kind of filter out what they're looking to inquire about, you could have a drop-down in here and add in your choices. So you could put here product 1, product 2, product 3, and we can just add a few more if we wanted to, or if we only had 2, we could just remove this third. So as you can see, I've now built out this form, and I'm going to click on save. So we have this form. We're going to close down the editor. We're going to go back to the form page. We're going to edit this. Now we've got this one in here, so I'm just going to delete that, and we're going to add in the other form. So we're going to add in the live demo, add that form, click on save or update. So now that's been done. This is the last form there. So let's just refresh this page, and you can see we've now got the form that we have just created. Now the formatting on this is a little bit off because we are using Beaver Builder to do the layouts, so we could change it if we wanted to. So you can see here we've now got our drop down, and we've got product 2, 3 that we can choose from. Now, if we wanted to change this formatting a little bit, I'm just clicked on WP Forms, and it's now already put clicked on the Beaver Builder button, and it's now already changed some of this formatting. But if we wanted to do how we did it in the last one, with 3 rows or 3 columns, sorry, we can do that, and I can just drag this across. And as you can see, there we go. And click on done. But if we go back to WP Forms, as I said, we've got all of this in here, but we've got other settings that we can change as well. So for instance, the notifications. Notifications are going to be the emails that you receive. So as we did in the Beaver Builder contact form, we can set where these emails need to be sent to. Now, normally these are set up to go to the admin email of your account. So it's already got these set up. So it's got there, it's going to send it to the admin email. But if it's going to be a different one, you could just go in here and change it. You can change the subject line. You can change who the email is coming from, so that when it hits your inbox, you know exactly where this email has come from. So you've got all of that in there. And then you have your confirmations as well. Because you've asked for the email address, when someone does this, you could potentially send it to them as an email. But at the moment, we just have this as a confirmation message. So as we did on the Beaver Builder contact form, we could have it as a message, or we could show a different page or go to a completely different website if we wanted to. And we just go in here and we change their message that they are going to receive. Now, again, as you can see here, there's so many other options that we have here, but because this is the free version, they all grayed out. And I've got to marketing. These are all the other systems that you could integrate as well. So if you're doing kind of your marketing on your website and you're having opt-in boxes, so people can download your ebooks or etc., you could use this to create those forms, but you'll need the pro version so that you can go and integrate with all these services as well. And then the same with payments. These are the payment services that they integrate with, but you will need the pro version. This does mean, if you do have the pro version, that you could have a simple selling site using WP forms to have that functionality on your website. So let's just close this down. Now, before I go on to Gravity Forms, as I've shown you WP Forms, which is the free version, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the Contact Form 7. So it's just this option here. We'll go to Contact Forms. Now, they do have one that's already been set up for us. So this is always there when you install it. And if we go to the editor, you'll see what I mean, where the editors are a bit different to the others. As you can see, it is very much a shortcode type system. So if you wanted to add in more, you can click on these buttons and it will add in the shortcode for you. You then need to go and format it how you want it to be formatted. You can then also change who the email is going to, who it's from, subject, etc. So you can change all of these, and you can also change the messages that happen if there's errors or things like that, or when someone is submitting the form, as well as just the success message. So as you can see, it works, but it's not that user friendly. So let me show you. We're going to copy the short code. We're going to go and we're going to create a new page. And I'm going to paste this shortcode in there and click on publish. And let's view this page. So as you can see, nothing wrong with it. It looks similar to all the others. We can change the formatting by just clicking on Beaver Builder. And we can change the formatting, like I said, like the others, if we wanted to. It looks okay, but it does take more time to set it up, find out how you want it set up. Contact Form 7, was kind of the one that was always installed on websites. When I built client websites, Contact Form 7 was the contact form system that was installed, because it was one that was popular, and we didn't have all these editors that we have now where you can drag and drop and stuff like that. We didn't have that. So Contact Form 7 was the plugin that we used to create our forms, and it's still used now. But if you do want that extra functionality and be able to move things around easily, then Contact Form 7 is probably not going to be the one that I would choose, especially when you've got WP Forms, Gravity Forms, and there's so many others out there which just look nicer and easier to use. Now, the last one that I wanted to show you today is Gravity Forms. Now, this is a paid form builder, and if we go to their website, you can see it's not cheap. You know, a basic license is $59 per year, which, you know, is not bad. You can only use it on one site, but they do have a lot of functionality on there, and you can have their basic add-ons. So if we go to the basic add-ons here, these are all the add-ons that you can use to connect it to MailChimp and all those other types of systems. And then you have the pro ones where they have more add-ons there to connect it to other systems, and PayPal and Stripe and all those ones as well are in that category. And then you have your elite ones where these are kind of bigger integrations where you can have polls, quizzes, etc. So if we go back to the pricing, you know, if you want to get like the elite license, it is $259 per year. So it's not cheap, but it depends if you need all these extra functionality on your site. So let's go and create a form. Now, the one thing that is quite exciting about it is that they've just released 2.5 version of this plugin, and a lot of this interface has all changed. You used to, if you wanted to change some of the formatting and the look of it, have columns and all that, you needed to use special CSS classes, which if you Google it, you'll find them, to be able to put things in columns, etc. And even, you know, kind of building the forms, I won't say it was bad, but compared to some of these other ones now, it did look a little bit old, but they've now rectified that, and they have released this new version. It's only been out probably less than a week now, I think it is, or maybe about a week, and I really do like it. And let's just look at this one that I've just created earlier today. So, you know, for those of you that might be familiar with Gravity Forms, you'll see that this whole interface here has completely changed. You still have these things down here on the right hand side, but the look is completely different, and the way you build these forms is different as well, because now you can go in here and you can add things just by dragging and dropping it. But if I wanted to go and add a button or something to the side of this, I can just do this, and all of a sudden there's my form. You weren't able to do this in the last version. It was all just kind of single column, and as I said, you needed to use CSS classes from their website to be able to change that, and that is no more. So it just makes things so much easier now to build out these forms, and you can create some really complicated forms with conditional logic and all that. Again, all of this was in the previous version, and this is what kind of the premium versions of this plugin, as well as WP Forms and all that, will be able to do. You can create these big forms where you can have conditional logic, where you can have fields appear depending on what they've used in previous questions in your form as well. So what I'm going to do, let's go and create a completely new form so you can see that whole process. So I'm going to go here and click on add new forms, and we're going to call this live demo and create the form. as with WP Forms, you've got now a blank canvas that you can use to create the form that you want. So let's go and create a normal contact form. So under the advanced fields, you can see we've got name in here as well. We've now got addresses and the email, which is normally up here anyway, under the standard fields. And you'll see as I go through all of these, there are going to be more and more options. Post fields. You could use Gravity Forms to actually create blog posts, for instance. Pricing fields, again, WP Forms has all of this, but you need the premium version, which with Gravity Forms this is, because you can only buy it. So you can create different products in there. So let's just go and create a normal contact form. So we're going to just click on it. Now, again, with this one, it gives you the name field, but you have your first and last. If I go into field settings, let's just select this one. We could just have it as the first name. So I can just untoggle last, and you can see, let's just put in the first name. You can keep it as that. We can set it to be required. Appearance, we could have placeholders in there. So type that in there and it just appears within the box. We could also have the field labels. How do we want them to appear? We could even hide those if we wanted to. So we now don't need to have that name one in there. Do we need to have these sub ones? If you're going to use placeholders, then you might not need them. So again, we can hide those. And then you have your conditional logic in here as well. So we can just go in here and create our form. Have a phone number in there. And if I wanted to, I can then just take this, drag it next to it. And then, because this is a contact form, we do need to have somewhere where people can actually put in what they're trying to contact us for. So if I just click on that, click on the field here, so I get the field settings. So I can now go and change the name. So under general, and we want this to be required. And the field, we can change it. So do we want it only to be a medium one or a small box? I'm going to click on update. Now in this, I'm just showing you very basic contact forms, but you can go and you can create as big a form as you need to gather the information that you need from a potential client. You can use these as an intake form. For instance, so people have signed up to your services, to a membership or something, but you want to have an intake form where you can get more information from them, and you can create those types of forms using Gravity Forms, WP Forms. You can do all of that and then get them to fill that out, and then it just gets emailed to you. But then you can also use other add-ons for these plugins. So for instance, if you're using a CRM system like ActiveCampaign, you could potentially have them fill these forms out, and that information gets put into ActiveCampaign once they click on that submit button. So there's a lot of different add-ons that you could use to help with your workflow, for instance. So now I've gone and updated that. What we can also look into is the form settings. So these are just kind of the form title, and some other settings like the button, and enabling people to save and continue the forms, etc. Confirmations. You have your default confirmation, and again, this is where you put your message once people click on the submit button. What message or what happens once they've done that. So you could just have a normal text message come up, which you just type in here. You can set it to go to a different page, or you can redirect them to another website again if you wanted to do that as well. Then you have your notifications, and the default one is to send it to the admin email again. So you could go and change all of that and just put in what you want. And it's also going to put all the fields that we have in the form. It's just going to list them all down there so that when we receive it, that's what's going to appear. And then it also gives us the option for personal data, because with a lot of these form systems, they will store a copy of whatever's submitted within the database of WordPress. Now with GDPR, etc., you'll need to work out what you do with that personal information. And Gravity Forms allows you to go in here and allows you to set what you want to do with it. So you can have a retention policy. So you could retain those entries indefinitely, so they'll always be stored, or as soon as someone has submitted it, you can then remove those straight away. So it gives you all of these different options. So you can delete the entries permanently after so many days. So you could say, okay, after a week, just delete it. So it does give you a lot of that, those options, depending on what your kind of retention policies are, etc. And then when someone has submitted it, you can click on this entries part here, and it will show you the list of all those submissions. So now that we've gone through all those settings, if we go back to all pages and we have a look at the Gravity Forms demo, so let's just open that page. And at the moment it is blank because I haven't actually edited it. So let's edit this page. And we're just going to click on this button to add a form. And we're going to select the one that we want. So I'm going to click on Live Demo and insert that form. And as you can see, it's given us the same options. Now, actually, what I'm going to do, we'll delete that and we'll add these in again, because I had these ticked. Display the form title, display the form description. Don't want any of that. So untick those, click on Insert. As you can see, it's now put in that shortcode. We're going to update this now. And we're going to view this page. So as you can see, very similar look to a lot of these other contact forms. And let's click on Beaver Builder again, so it changes that. There we go. So this is kind of Gravity Forms. Again, there's a lot of different options in there, with a lot of all the other plugins as well. They do have other options, but I wanted to show you the different ways that you could add a contact form to your website. And as I said, if I click on the add-ons for Gravity Forms, you can see all of the different add-ons that you could connect it to. And then it will just extend the features and what you could use Gravity Forms for. Now, WP Forms have similar ones. I'm not sure if they have as extensive as Gravity Forms, but they do have a lot of their own add-ons as well. So as I said, I wanted to show you the different ways that you can add a contact form to your website. Contact forms are especially important on your website, because sometimes you don't want to have all your contact information sitting there, like your email address, especially because those can be used for spam. If you have that on your website, they can be what we kind of call in the industry is it will be crawled by bots. If you think that it's people going to your website and physically copying and pasting email addresses off your website, that's not the case. It's all going to be automatic using bots. So if you do have your email address on your website, it is a potential way for people to get your email address so that they can spam you. So having a contact form is a way to combat that, because you can have that form on there. You can have the extra security using the Google reCAPTCHA system, and there's a few other ways of doing it as well, and that will reduce the amount of spam that you receive through your contact form. So if you haven't got anything like that set up on your contact form, then I do urge you to go and look at those systems and get that integrated, because it will definitely stop that. So that's why I recommend that people use contact forms on their websites. But also you can glean a bit more information through that contact form, rather than just hoping that people are going to email you and actually give you the information that you need to respond to their inquiry. If you have a form on there, you can kind of direct that conversation and get the information that you need. So I hope you found this interesting. And if you do need any help with regards to the online tech, then I do have a free membership site where I'm posting all these types of videos in there, as well as other exclusive content to the membership site. And what is different to just kind of using YouTube all the time is that the videos are searchable. Now, it's not kind of like YouTube searchable, where it's just looking at the descriptions and the titles. This system actually goes and transcribes all my videos, which means that the content within the videos can now be searched as well. So if you do have something that you need and you're not quite sure how to do it, you could just type in a search term and it will bring up all the videos that contain that search term. But not only that, when you click on it, it will take you to the exact point within that video. So no more scrubbing through videos trying to find the right content. And as I said, that membership site is constantly being added to, and if there isn't anything there that you need, then all you need to do is click on the button and then submit the form of the content that you're looking for, or something that you need help with, and I will make sure that that video gets created as well, so that this kind of content library is always growing, but it's growing with the stuff that people actually need. So if that is something that interests you, then please go to jasonkruger.com/free and you'll get access to that. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. And again, if you're on YouTube and you found this interesting and useful, then please look to subscribe to the channel and click on the notification bell so that you next get notified when I post a video or when I go live. And if you're on Facebook, like the page as well, and you'll get notifications when I next go live on there as well. So I hope this was useful. Please make sure that you do have those contact forms on your websites and that they are set up to reduce the spam as well. And just remember, you can do it. Sometimes you do just need a little help. So I hope to see you on the next one.